Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today going to be looking at the Bicycle Architectural Wonders of the World deck. This deck is designed by Cincinnati-based illustrator James Billiter and is actually an Amazon exclusive. So if you like what you see here, you're going to want to head over to Amazon to look for this first Amazon exclusive deck that I know of. So let's take a look at it, find out what it's all about. Now, as the name suggests, this is a celebration of some of the architectural marvels that you can find internationally. And in fact, looks at over 50, as they say here, global landmarks. Starting with the front of the tuck case, it's this black tuck case, kind of a standard stock you're used to with bicycle decks. It says bicycle across the front, over 50 landmark or over 50 global landmarks down here, playing cards, and then architectural wonders of the world at the bottom. It is hit with little accents of gold foil. So the architectural wonders of the world down here is kind of on a gold foil block. And then you have highlights of gold foil on the word bicycle there as well. And then in the back here, you have a design of Big Ben kind of framed inside of a spade pip. And then an arch here, kind of reminiscent of what you might see on like the Eiffel Tower or something like that. Got the columns flanking with suits with the pips on them on the sides as well. So kind of little architectural elements going all the way around. And then we have these kind of little dashed lines giving the feel of kind of a blueprint design. It is an embossed tuck case, which is a little bit more on the premium side for a bicycle deck. So it gives it a nice, a little bit more luxury feel to it. On the sides in gold foil, you've got air cushion finish, architectural wonders of the world, and made in the USA, as all USPCC decks are. On the other side, the United States Playing Card Company. Bottom has your ad copy for James Billiter and USPCC. And then on the top, just says standard size and playing cards. Back here is going to be a representation of the back of the cards, which as usual we'll look at in a second. And you do have a little bit of a different custom tuck seal here. So it's a gold foil seal with the spade pip US logo there in the center, playing cards. And then you got the lines again with that feel of a blueprint. So kind of lines and arrows going all the way around. Inner flap just has a little bit more ad copy for bicycle. And then you have these gold spade pips with the US logo in the center on the inner flaps as well. You do get some printing on the interior of the tuck case, not embossed or foiled or anything, but you just have this, and you can kind of make out some of the different famous architectural landmarks, like there's the Taj Mahal, for example. And that goes all the way through to the bottom of the tuck case. So that is the tuck. It's a nice higher end tuck as bicycle ones go. So not too bad. Let's look at the cards starting with the back design. And here it is. So a white card with kind of a fatter border. I wish they'd done a more narrow border. I really kind of prefer those to this really thick border. But then you just have a series of architectural elements. So you've got the building here, you've got the trusses in the background, just all sorts of different architectural elements all the way around. And then the center is almost this stained glass window effect with what appears to be kind of train tracks going around it. You've got the four suits there in the center. So that kind of keeps it from being a two-way back design. The fact that you have the four suits here, so you got heart at the top here, but if you flip it, you've got the diamond. The rest of it though is a two-way back design, so not too distracting of a change there. You have other little hits of little tiny pips going all the way around. So you've got, hearts down here, clubs and spades on the columns that are framing the sides as well. And then you've got diamonds over here on the sides. The border is not a straight border. It's kind of free-flowing border that's following these columns on the side. And then you've got more of those dashed lines, again, giving the feel of a design or a blueprint to that building. So that's the back design of the cards. Extra cards you get. You do get two jokers. They're not identical jokers, but they both feature the Leaning Tower of Pisa. One of them has Joker at the top, almost kind of a handwritten style. And then you've got a smaller black and white version of the Leaning Tower, including lines indicating the angle and height, etc. The US logo in the corners, and then more just kind of random lines, dashed lines and arrows framing up on the borders. Goes all the way to the edge, so there's no white border around on this one either. The second Joker is a larger and kind of more inked in version of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and even includes a little bit of a hit of color there at the top. But otherwise, you still got the Joker US and the lines going around it. So there are your two Jokers side by side. Two other cards you get. One of them is going to be a really nicely designed USPCC, or a bicycle rather, ad card. Mentions the name of the deck, Architectural Wonders of the World, and then designed by Billiter Studios. Has, just like the front of the tuck case, Big Ben there in the center of a large spade pip with a truss over the top, but done up in a little bit more color. So I like the design of this ad card quite a bit. And then last one is one that just explains a little bit about the deck, and it's the homage that it's paying to the architectural wonders of the world. And you can see here the theme for the four different suits. So the diamonds are going to be landmarks from 1950 to present, and then going back, the spades will be 1900 to 1950. Clubs will be year 1000 to 1900, and you got your much older ones on the hearts going back pre-1000. So there is your other one, gives you a little bit of an explanation. And let's take a look at the cards. We're going to start with the spades, which are the 1900 to 1950 landmarks. And right on the ace of spades, the one that they chose is the Norwood, Ohio factory for USPCC. So this is their iconic clock tower there. It says here, they're home for over a century. So you get that clock tower popping up out of a shadowy spade pip, has US at the bottom, made in the USA as well. Bicycle written in this kind of cool, again, kind of hand-drawn looking font at the top. And then a custom font on the index in the corner here, again, has a little bit of a hand-drawn look. It is a fully hand-drawn deck, which is kind of cool. Spade pip in the corner, and then more of those lines, again, that blueprint feel going all over. And then every one of the cards is going to feature a different famous landmark. So you've got one out of Brazil here, Estacao Central do Brazil. The old Mutual building, Eros Cinema, there's one out of India. I like how they did this here with the sort of the fade from a black and white drawn style over here to the bolder color feature. So you kind of get that fade and interesting coloring on the cards themselves. As you flip through, every single one is going to be unique. I also really like the ones that include some extra color there, like the green here on the Helsinki Central Station. Roby House in the US. So kind of call out some of the maybe more significant ones, or at least more significant to me. Golden Gate Bridge, I like that one. Your court cards are really no different than any of the number cards. They just feature more famous, I guess you might say, buildings. So Empire State Building makes its way onto the King of Spades here. Ace of Diamonds, largest or tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. So there you go, with the framed up with the diamond pip in the background. That's a really cool one. I'm not sure how you say that, Bosjes Chapel. Not sure how that building works. Gateway Arch in St. Louis. So lots of really cool designed, there you go, the Malaysia, the Petronas Towers. Willis Tower used to be the tallest building in the world. There's who gets featured on the diamond courts. So these are the more modern ones. Beijing National Stadium, so that was the feature for the Olympics when they were in China. Jumping to the clubs now, we're looking at landmark from 1000 to 1900. So you've got Statue of Liberty and Big Ben featured there, Taj Mahal, Tower Bridge in London, Machu Picchu. So lots of cool designs here. Kind of speed up to flip through these a little bit quicker. Ace of Clubs features the Eiffel Tower. And then your hearts, so these are the most ancient of all. So these go back prior to the year 1000. So you got the Great Pyramids and Roman Colosseum, Stonehenge, Parthenon in Greece. There you go, Moai, those stone heads there. And then on the ace, it features from Japan, the Yakushi-ji Toto Pagoda. So very cool, and I love that heart framing it in the background. So that's it. What about the handling of the cards? Well, it's a bicycle deck, so it handles really nicely, just like you'd expect. That fatter border means it doesn't really show up quite as nicely from the backs in fans, but those lines going all the way to the edge there, I mean, it kind of gives you a little bit of an interesting look when you fan it from the faces. So otherwise though, nice handling deck. No complaints on that front. What is the deck for? Honestly, to me, it's really just more of an appreciation and art deck. Maybe for cardistry, but a little bit harder to use for Magic or for gameplay, just because you have so much of a distraction, a lot going on in the card faces, so it's a little bit harder to read and use for those kind of purposes. But nice, interesting deck. As bicycle decks go, I think it's definitely on the nicer end. You get real hit or miss sometimes with bicycle decks, but I think this one, to me, I think I'll call it a hit. I do like the artwork. I like the art style. Not a bad deck. So if you're interested in this, you're going to want to head out to Amazon. It is, like I said, an Amazon exclusive. Hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if there's more decks you want to see. Subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings, and I'll see you for the next one.